Boys, we're finally here. UFC 308. We're on fight week now. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. This video is recorded ahead of time. But so far, Chimaev hasn't pulled out. We're still good to go for Saturday. And, honestly, ever since around the Gilbert Burns fight, we saw a very slight derailment in the hype of Khamzat Chimaev. But that was kind of expected, But even then we had some problems with Chimaev. Like ever since the GM3 fight, it's crazy to think we were supposed to go from Chimaev versus GM3 all the way up from Chimaev versus Leon Edwards, but that got canceled. Then 2021, again, they try to remake Leon Edwards versus Chimaev, canceled once again. So we got Chimaev versus the Leech. That was a fight where, okay, a lot of people were back on the hype of Chimaev. We were kind of getting sick of the pullouts. I know not all of the pullouts were on the Chimaev side for the Leon Edwards fight, but one of them were. But we got Chimaev versus the Leech, ended in one round. We got Chimaev running over, picking up the Leech, going over to Dana, talking to Dana while carrying the Leech like a little child. Then we move into 2022. We got Chimaev versus Gilbert Burns. And like I said, this was, in my opinion, the biggest crack in his armor, where it did show this boy is human. He's not, some triple threat out here that could be a triple division champ. He is human. He has some flaws here and there, but he won that fight. People say that, arguably he could have lost that fight, but he won that fight. Lost a little bit of the hype doing so because it did show that he is human. Moving up, UFC's 279. First off, I have no idea why the hell they made Chimaev versus Diaz in the first place. Absolutely retarded in my opinion, but Chimaev misses weight by like 7 pounds, I think it was. They switched it up. Kevin Holland, Chimaev, first round submission like usual. Yes, I think this was a net negative for Chimaev, to be honest. Yes, he got rid of Kevin Holland super fast, but everyone was expecting that to happen and, just rub the fan base the wrong way. So, even more down the drain for the hype. Then we go to 2023. 2023, we went from all the way from UFC 279 to UFC 94 without Chimaev. We got Chimaev versus Usman. He gets it done again, but at the same time, people think he lost that fight. And, even more just down the drain of the hype for Chimaev. Then, previous to that, it was supposed to be Chimaev versus Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa pulled out of their fight, so not really on the Chimaev fight, but once Chimaev versus Usman was announced, I remember the hype for that fight was through the roof, but the fight didn't really plan out. 2023, he only fought one time. We're in 2024 now. Towards the end half of 2024, we were supposed to get Robert Whittaker versus Chimaev back in June. We all know what happened, but we get the fight in a few more days. Hopefully, no pullouts, but like I said, there's just been a downfall of hype for his career ever since he was supposed to fight Leon Edwards, in my opinion at least. Is it a dramatic fall off from grace? Absolutely not, but there is a fall off there. But I have a 5-step plan here for Chimaev on how he can get his hype back. And to be honest, it is way easier said than done. This shit looks super easy written down on paper, but put into action, maybe a little bit harder. Although, one of these things, dummy easy to do. First thing in my 5-step plan, show up to UFC 308. If he just shows up and he's making the walk, he has his walkout song, he's running through the octagon, hype is back, It's been over a year since we saw Chimaev. Having him run back into the octagon autistically, the hype is back. You can't deny that the hype would be back. Second thing, again, easier said than done. He needs to run through Robert Whittaker. He hasn't had an easy fight since the short notice Kevin Holland fight, which honestly, he should have made that look super easy. And then after that, it hasn't been since the GM3 fight, Actually, I guess since the Leech fight, but which was all the way back in 2021. So he needs to make this look easy if he wants to have his hype back. Then after that, he beats Robert Whittaker. He's next up for the belt. I want Chimaev to go be the backup opponent just in case any dumb shit happens between DDP and Sean Strickland. In case someone pulls out, something happens, I need Khamzat Chimaev to be the backup opponent. Plus, he gets a little bit of his hype, showing up there, making weight, having some media day here and there. We just need him to be the backup opponent. And again, after that, it makes him buzz in the headlines. We know that he would be the next contender after that. We know he's next for the winner of DDP versus Strickland. After that, I want a title shot at UFC 315. That gives the winner of DDP and Strickland 4 months. Maybe I'm just wishing too much for this one, because a 4-month turnaround, depending on how that title fight goes, it might be wishing too much for that. But a 4-month turnaround, if they can't make it, then maybe UFC 317. You know, I don't want to be waiting 10 months from UFC 308 till when he gets his title shot. But yeah, those are 3 things so far. We got 2 more to go through. The 4th thing on this list, simply just win a belt. He doesn't have to do it. He doesn't have to run through the winner. He doesn't have to do it unscathed. It can be a war. All that matters is this boy wins a belt. Because to be honest, if he wins a belt, it will be, because we've been saying this since 2020, since this guy came on the scene, that in 2020 he's gonna be a double champ by 2021, 2022. You know what I mean? We're gonna be 2025 by the time he gets a title shot. And you know, we just need, just to close this book off, close this chapter off, we need him to get a title shot. We need him to win that title shot. Does he need to be a double champ? I don't think so. You know, let's just say hypothetically, Strickland beats DDP. We do Chimaev versus Strickland for the belt. Chimaev beats Strickland. He can fight against DDP, defend it, fight against, you know, Israel Adesanya. Hopefully he gets a win here, give him a bounce back win. He can be at the next title shot. He beats Izzy. That'd be like 5 champions he's beaten in his resume. We got Usman, Robert Whittaker, Strickland, DDP, and Izzy. 5 former champions on his resume. After that, I guess if he really wanted to, he could go up or down in weight to get, you know, that double champ status, or both, and try to become the triple champ, even though I don't think he's the guy to do it. Although what I've been saying kind of leads into my 5th and last step on this plan. He needs to be an active champ. You know, we have him fighting back in 2020, back to back to back. It feels like, you know, 3 times in a few months, which is insane. 2 times in a few days, in 10 days, which is, I think that might be a record. I could be wrong, but back to back, he just needs to be an active champion. And yeah, that's my 5-step plan for how Chimaev can get his hype back. You guys have to let me know in the comments below. Does he need any more steps to get his hype back? Like, to be honest, if he shows up to UFC 308, makes weight, and runs through Robert Whittaker, he'll probably have just as much hype as he did before he was on this big send-off, this big cliffhanger, this big cliff that he's jumped off of. But if he goes out here, becomes the backup opponent for DDP versus Strickland, gets his title shot, wins the belt, and becomes an active champ, he might be, you know, people say that he's just an aura merchant, which I could see, but if he does all of these things, he might be one of the most like hyped up champions that we have. You know, right now I would have to say it's Alex Pereira, but we could see Chimaev, you know, get close or even pass him. But you guys have to let me know. Also, do you guys think Chimaev is showing up? Do you think he's even beating Robert Whittaker? You guys have to let me know in the comments below. I've been flip-flopping all week on who I think is going to win that match. And yeah, at this point, I got no idea whatsoever. But you guys have to let me know in the comments below. Also, I try to put this in the beginning of every video I make, but I honestly forget every single time. Your boy's on that goal to get to 1,000 subscribers, and 99% of you guys watch this shit for free. So all I ask, leave a like on this video and subscribe with those post notifications turned on. You guys made it to the end of the video, so you might as well make sure you never miss any of these rare videos. With all that being said, guys, there's really not that much else left to say, except for I will see you guys in my next video.